you have a good nap? You look so cute. Hi. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna try to film Jackson's 10-month update. I'm gonna see if he'll play here in his room because he just woke up from his nap. See if I can entertain him enough because we've got a lot to fill you guys in on. Today's update is one that I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting for because we've been on a mission to fatten up Jackson this month. So I'm gonna talk about his weight, what we've done to help him gain weight, and what the doctor said at his appointment today and all of that. Plus all of the milestones that he's reached this month. So there's a lot to chat about. But of course he's gonna wanna play here in the little cube because I have you guys in the cube and he's just standing in my way. Look at him. This is Jackson. This is him when I'm trying to talk to you guys. So maybe this is just gonna be like vlog style. I guess that's how we're gonna do it. If you guys are new here, first of all, welcome. Thanks for being here. So this is little Jackson, and Jackson is 10.5 months old right now. The last update that I filmed for you guys, his 9-month update, he was closer to being 9.5. So this is like officially like a month later. So I guess we'll start off with the doctor's appointment this morning. So when we saw the doctor last month, he was weighing 15 pounds and 14 ounces, and he was closer to like the 2nd percentile weight-wise. So that concerned the doctor. She told me we had to fatten him up. We needed to get more ounces in him. We needed to find a way to get him to gain some weight. Like as long as the babies are staying on their little growth curve, the doctors are normally not too worried. So you can have a baby that's like in the 5th percentile like for a very long time, and that's fine. But he had been, I think at his 4-month appointment, the doctor told me that he had been in the 20th percentile, and then it seemed like that he had been kind of going downhill since. But today when I took him, he was weighing 17 pounds and 14 ounces, and that made the doctor happy. That made me super happy because he is now officially in the 10th percentile. So he gained 2 whole pounds in a month's time, and he went from being in the 2nd percentile to the 10th percentile. I'll have the rest of his stats here too because he did gain a little bit in his head circumference and in his length too. So his head circumference is 45 centimeters, and that percentile, he's in the 30th percentile for his head circumference. And even at the last appointment, he was in the 30th percentile. So she's not too concerned about that. As far as his length goes, his length is 27.5, I think that's inches, and then he's in the 5th percentile for his length, which is the same percentile he was in last time. But the doctor, basically what she told me is that it kind of takes a little longer for them to catch up in terms of length because they need to like first fatten up a bit in order to then start growing lengthwise, you know, like increasing percentiles. So right now we're not too worried about that. We're just gonna keep, you know, feeding him and doing the same things kind of that we've been doing this month so that we make sure that he's maintaining that weight. What you doing, little guy? Hi. I put him in this little Halloween outfit too because this week is Halloween and I wanted him to wear that little onesie because I thought it was so cute. Hi. You wanna say hi? How do you wave? Jackson, how do you give kisses? How do you give kisses? How do you give kisses? You wanna give kisses? So as you guys can see, he's very vocal, that's for sure. He's like screaming at me all day long. I have to tell him multiple times, do not scream at mama because he's so loud. So let's finish talking about the whole weight situation because a lot of you guys have asked how I've gotten him to gain this weight and all of that. So basically what the doctor had told me at the appointment last month was give him more formula, supplement with formula or pump extra milk and just get him to take more ounces of milk somehow. Problem was, which I've already talked to you guys about in my breastfeeding video and the issues that I was having, is that I don't have a big milk supply, so I didn't have the ability to like pump extra milk. Like I pumped a little bit extra, like 2 ounces every night. Oh, hi, you just fell backwards? That's cool. He was literally in a seated position, like sitting down, and just threw himself backwards. I don't know if my child's the only one that does that, but it's the most frustrating thing because he's not even like climbing on things or, you know, standing up and then falls. He's just literally like sitting down and then just decides that he wants to throw himself backwards, and then my anxiety goes through the roof and all that. But anyway, so I wasn't able to pump a ton of milk. I would pump 2 ounces every night to give him later on the next day. So the easiest thing would have been if he would have just taken like a formula bottle, like if I could just prepare him an extra bottle of formula throughout the day. But I tried that and he hated formula. So it wasn't like I could just say, here's a sippy cup or here's a little bottle of formula, drink it, and then I know that he's getting extra ounces in. So what I had to do instead was kind of get creative with how I got that formula in his diet. What I was doing was every morning, instead of preparing his oatmeal cereal with just water, which is what I used to do, now I started preparing it with formula. So that way I made sure that I was getting some ounces of formula in his diet. Every morning I would prepare a bottle of 4 ounces of formula. So 4 ounces of water, 2 little scoops of the formula, so that's 4 ounces of liquid, and then I would pour that in a bowl, and then I would mix it with the oatmeal cereal, and then I would add peanut butter in there, flaxseed, mix that up. It was a very hearty breakfast, like a big bowl of stuff for him to eat. But he ate that every morning, and then that was just a good way for me to know that he was getting the formula, some good nutrition and all of that. And then the biggest thing that we did differently throughout the rest of the day was, before we were doing just table foods, we were doing finger foods, and what I started doing was just giving him purees. It was a combo of like store-bought purees, like the little, I think they're stage 2, the ones that are like chicken and sweet potatoes that have like some protein mixed with like other things. So I would do like one of those for lunch and one of those for dinner, or I would do like some homemade ones. Like when I was in Miami, my grandma made him like a from scratch puree that had like chicken and zucchini and sweet potatoes, like just good hearty foods in it. So we do purees for lunch and for dinner. What I was still trying to do though is still give him a little bit of finger food. So if I put him on his high chair, like while I was making him his breakfast, I would still give him like some fruit. I would give him like little strawberries or little raspberries, or now he likes kiwi. So that way he was still kind of practicing that skill, because what I did notice was that throughout the month, as we were doing more purees, he started to kind of get a little bit pickier about the finger foods that he eats, because you guys know that there was a time when anything I would put on his tray, he would devour it. Anything, like any bread or any muffin I would put there, he would just eat it. And I noticed that as the month went on, he was kind of like being picky and like putting it in his mouth and spitting it out, or just throwing it on the floor. So I didn't want to like backtrack too much in that arena, because that's what happened with Riley. We gave her purees till like way past even a year old, I think, and then she didn't want to try anything new, and we have the hard time that we have now with her not trying different foods. So I will be doing a video soon where I show you like real time, like actually show you video of what I've been preparing for him, and like how I've made even some of my own homemade baby food, so that you guys have a good idea of some of the things that you can do if you're struggling also with a baby that's having a weight issue. But it was like a lot of feeding. There were times when I'm like, are we like stuffing this child? Like we're really trying to get a lot of food in him, but at the very least he did gain the weight and the doctor's happy with him again. So I talked to her today because I was like, okay, he's gained weight, but what are we supposed to do moving forward? How do we get him to maintain this weight? And basically what she told me is to keep doing what we're doing, but still, yes, did you just toot? Did you just toot? But still to kind of incorporate finger foods, because of the fact that when they're 1, this doctor seems to think and recommend that when they're 1, they should be eating mostly table food. So I don't want to get to the point where he's 1 and then he doesn't, you know, try any foods like that. The other thing that I'm going to try is I'm going to try to figure out how much actual table food is in like a little 4-ounce, you know, serving of puree, because that way I can know if I'm giving him like a piece of chicken on his tray, like finger food chicken, I can know more or less how much he needs to be eating. So like, what does a 4-ounce jar of baby food really look like in table food format, if that makes any sense. So that way, if I am giving him the table foods, I'm not just giving him like 2 little pieces of chicken and that's not enough. I can be confident in the servings that I'm giving him. So I'm gonna work on that this month. The other thing that she told me had to do with like the whole milk situation, because when they turn a year old, the doctors recommend that you don't have to give them formula anymore. Instead, you give them whole milk. So that's just milk, like a gallon of milk from the grocery store, the whole milk version, not like low fat or 2%. So they start to drink whole milk at a year old. And she said that when you start giving them milk, that milk is very fatty. So he should gain weight just fine when he's drinking that. So she also recommended that, you know, if he's like 11.5 months old and he's still like being really picky with the formula, doesn't enjoy formula, or we're seeing that he's starting to drop a little bit, because I am going to be weighing him every week because I have a baby scale that I bought. So if we start to see that he's kind of going downwards again, like we can always start the whole milk like a little bit early, you know, like at 11.5 months, or if like there's 3 weeks left until his first birthday, we can maybe start introducing some of the whole milk. So that's the food situation. I know that it's like a lot, so if you have any specific questions, you guys can leave them down below in the comments. I'm also trying to make sure that he's not like busting his butt over here. Hey you, what you doing there? As you guys can see, he is standing, and he's been standing for quite some time, just like climbing up on everything. He doesn't stand like by himself yet. There have been a couple times where like he's standing like that and then he lets go for like a second, and then he's like standing up on his own for like literally like a second, and then that's it, and then he falls to the floor. But he's definitely a very active, mobile baby. Puts everything in his mouth still, so I'm always watching him. Right now he's teething super bad because I think he's getting his top teeth. He has his 2 bottom teeth, but his 2 top ones I think are starting to come in. I'm starting to see like they're really swollen. I think I saw some white up top. So the teething situation has been crazy. I've had to give him Tylenol like one night, like this week I gave him Tylenol because there was one day that he was just going crazy. What are you mad about? What you mad about, little dude? You have the best life. Can you play with something that's less of a choking hazard, please? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And look, you can play with this too. These kind of little teethers and stuff he likes. You see that? Yeah, that's a good toy. As far as like other things that he's done this month, it has been super cute and exciting to see him finally pushing that little baby walker. I've been kind of showing you guys progress like throughout the month of me like practicing him pushing the walker, and he used to be able to just like kind of pull himself up on it and he'd just kind of hang out there, but he's finally taking full-blown steps in the walker. So that's been super exciting for me to see him do that. I don't think he's quite mastered like the turning, but he can go in a straight line and take multiple steps. So that has been really fun to see. And then Riley, of course, like always gets in his way, and I'm like, can you give him some space so he can practice? So I'm pretty sure that here in the next couple months, he's gonna maybe start walking. Riley did not start walking until she was 15 months old, by the way. So a lot of you guys have asked me like how the two kids have compared and stuff. And Jackson is definitely more mobile than Riley ever was. Like I said, she was a very late walker, and I just don't remember like Riley being this age and me having to chase her around the house as much. Riley would like chill in her little like playpen, and she would like lay down on her back and like hold books up by her legs and read the books, you know, look through the books and stuff. But this guy literally just wants to go everywhere all day long. And then as far as like their language, like verbal skills, it's backwards. So Riley was always a super verbal child. I think at 10 months old, she was already saying mama, dada, cat, dog. She definitely knew more than one word. Because I remember that when I took Riley in for her 1-year appointment, they were looking to see that she had said one word, and I was like, yeah, she says like much more than one word. But this little dude is not that verbal. Like he's loud and he's like making sounds all the time, but not like actual words. He says dada, but not even like all the time. Like he's kind of selective about when he says it, but he still hasn't said mama, and he doesn't say anything else at this point. But what he does do is like if I tell him, Jackson, how do you give kisses? He'll give kisses, and he does like the little kissing action. And then he also waves, and it's not all the time. Like he has to be in the mood. I have to like wave at him. He gets excited and then he'll wave. And then the other thing we taught him this month was how to clap his hands. So he is clapping his hands. I'm pretty sure he will not do it for the camera right now, but those are kind of like the 3 things that he'll do. Did you just spit up on yourself? Really? Really? What'd you find there? Is that a monitor? How do you clap your hands? Okay, thank you very much for your participation in today's video. Okay, I don't think he's gonna show you any of those things, but as far as sleeping goes, because I get a lot of questions about his sleeping this month literally has been the best that it has ever been, and I'm so grateful and thankful that at least that wasn't a problem this month. So he's been going to sleep like around 7:30. I think that's usually the time that I've been putting him down, and then he wakes up the next morning like around 7:30 or 8, and for the most part he sleeps the entire night. There have been a couple incidences, like a couple occasions. Sorry, he's getting into stickers and that could be a choking hazard. Go play with your toys. There's things that you can play with. This is not one of them. Yeah, you see, now he's sad. Whenever I take something away from him, he gets all upset. No, you found one? No, come here, you stinker. Sorry, it's just like literally like anything that he's not supposed to do, that's what he wants to do right now. So getting back to the sleeping, there have been a couple, are you kidding me? There's another one? So Riley comes in here and brings a bunch of stuff that she's not supposed to bring in here, so, okay. There have been a couple instances, like when we were at my parents' house, where he woke up like maybe like at 1 in the morning or like at 3 in the morning, and usually when he wakes up in the middle of the night, on those like rare occasions when he wakes up, normally what I'll do is I'll give him some time to just kind of cry it out, figure it out, because there are a lot of times when he'll put himself right back to sleep. It's just that he kind of woke up, maybe he had a nightmare, or maybe, I don't know, something woke him up. So he'll cry maybe for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, and then he'll put himself back to sleep. But there were a couple times when after like 5 minutes he still was crying, and then it was like 10 minutes, and I was like, okay, like my anxiety can't take it, so let's go help him out. And on those occasions I went downstairs where he was sleeping and I picked him up and I nursed him back to sleep, and then he stayed fine. But that, I would say, is very much the exception. Most nights he sleeps the entire night, no issues. When I know that he's having like a tough day, when I think his teeth are bothering him, what I'll do is I'll give him a dose of Tylenol right before bed to help him with his like teething issue. But I don't have to usually do that a lot. It's not like I'm doing that all the time at all. And then as far as his naps go, his naps have been the best also that they've ever been. So I put him down normally like around 10 a.m. for his first nap, and he sleeps for like an hour. Sometimes it's even been an hour and a half. That's usually like his longer nap of the 2 naps that he takes. And then after that, he's awake until maybe like 2:30 or 3, and then he takes like an hour afternoon nap. So that's been pretty consistent at this point. There have been some days that he's just fussy or just does not feel like napping, where the naps are cut short, or maybe a couple times he's missed his nap entirely. But again, that's the exception, and that's not usually what happens. So that makes me so happy, because it used to be like the other way around. It used to be the rare occasion when he would take even an hour nap. So his naps are doing better. I don't know if it's just that he got, you know, the hang of it, or if maybe now that he's eating more and he's a little more full, if it's helped him to sleep better. It could definitely be that too. He's doing good in terms of sleep, and he definitely wakes up feeling nice and rested, and he has so much energy, burns off all the calories. Hi. How do you give mama kisses? Come on, give me kisses, you rude. And then this month also, I've started just to pick up more on like his personality, and it's just so crazy to see like these tiny little things that used to literally just lay down there in their crib, or, you know, on the little dockatoi, and they wouldn't move, they wouldn't do nothing. And then now he's got a personality, and when I snatch things out of his hands, I tell him, no, you can't play with that, he starts screaming. And when Riley is, you know, in his space or not sharing with him, he tries to bite her actually. Like, it's like I have to hold back my laughter, because like she's mean to him, but then like he goes after her and like tries to bite her, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. So yeah, those two are like always going at it, and I'm just trying to find a way to deal with it, because it's not very good. But look at him, like he won't stay still. He wants to get up in everything that he's not supposed to. That's the baby scale, by the way. I still have to put it away. That's the one that I bought on Amazon to weigh him. So I was weighing him when I was at my mom's house, just to make sure that we were making some progress. Look at those chunky legs. Are you chunky? Are you chunky? I think you're chunky, and you're fast too. You're so fast. What? 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 You gonna pull yourself up? He does now pull himself up also in the crib. So he didn't do that, I think, until this month. Are you trying to say mama? Mama? You want to say mama? Come on, does that sound like mama, or does it sound like nana? I can't really tell. But that's like the other thing that he yells at me saying. His favorite toys are non-toys at the moment. Anything that looks like he's not supposed to have it, that's what he wants to play with. Surprisingly, this is a toy, and he wants to play with it in this moment. That's pretty much how Jackson's been doing this month. Overall, I think he's been doing really good. He's had his fussy moments, like I said, because he's teething right now, but he's doing good. And in terms of his weight goes, we're happy with his progress. So again, if you have any other questions, let me know down below in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys to pieces. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. How did you find another sticker? Oh, that's your Band-Aid. Is that your Band-Aid? No, it's a sticker. Jackson, how do you clap your hands? Clap your hands. Yay, clap your hands.